Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here, and of course I hope you're ready for a new DIY inspiration. If you're new here and you just stumbled on by on me, of course I hope you enjoy what you see, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, of course I hope you will click the red subscribe button. What we're going to use for this DIY is the smaller tumbling tile blocks. Make sure that you go down in the description below. There you find the measurement for the smaller blocks and the bigger blocks, so you can compare it with your own blocks. Most of the time, if it does little difference, it doesn't matter. So for this one is the smaller blocks. I have here my container with everything inside I need for DIY, but just make your own container what you use. The most important is of course for me the wood glue. You can use some hot glue. I use some hot glue also in the early start of my DIYing, but of course on the way you see what's better, and of course the wood glue is a little bit better to keep the sturdiness or firmness, how you call it. I am here having some paint. This is just some paint at my choice. You can choose any color you like. Of course, I have here a kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue. These are the main pieces we need for this DIY. What we're going to make, we are going to make a decorative old-fashioned radio. So we will see how this will turn out. So, and I almost did forget to tell you, of course, we are going to use a little piece of this webbing, and this is just for your grill mat. You can use on your grill. It's kind of plastic, but this is great. So this way I don't hurt myself, because if I use chicken wire, most of the time it's always going wrong for me. So this is easy, and it is black. That's the greatest, and it doesn't cost almost nothing. So you can buy it probably everywhere. So this one is also a cheap mat. So we are going to use a little piece from this one also. So our first step is we're going to start with the front side of our radio, and of course I think I'm going to make a kind of an organizer of it, so it will be a decorative piece you can do, and you can also place something inside. At least that's my try. We will see if this will work out. So we have 5 rows of 5 rows of 5. We lay them on our table. We do some glue on the top side of the block, and we just easy row them together this way, and you just close it in with number 5. And of course the front side you can change up any way you like, because everyone has their own taste, but I'm just giving you my version of an old radio this way. And that's why we also use the webbing, and that's the greatest about that, like I told you, plastic webbing, so you can easily use it in your decors. I use it already also for the bee decors. That's why I always have it laying around. I always buy it in the summertime and make sure that I have enough for the whole winter season, because you can use it for many purposes. So again, we're going to give it a little bit of pressure. Make sure that you have a straight line, and again feel with your fingers. If you have a carpenter square, you just lay it down, but I do it always with my fingers, because I like, I think I'm most of the time I'm used to it, because I didn't do other way, so I always do it this way. Now we're going to get our wet towel. Of course it's an old one. We're going to clean up the top side, very easy, and this way you just place it on the side. You just clean up your mat, do the back side, and you see already this one is still not dried up. You do the bottom, you do the side, and you do the back side. And of course, always when you want to move your blocks, always do it fast. Don't hesitate, because most of the time if you hesitate it goes wrong. But of course, even when it breaks, it doesn't matter, because you can easily break it this way. You just place it together again, because wood glue is very forgiving. And again, you clean up your mat, turn it over to the back side, and we're going to let it dry in for at least 5 minutes. So now we're going to place 2 of them this way, and we're going to do some glue on the smallest line of the block. We do it over here, and we're going to place it down, roll them together, and row number 3 together. Make sure that you have the sides in a nice straight line. This way. You're going to do here the same. You do some glue on this one. Over here. You're going to place it down and you make one piece out of this one also. Again, you're going to get your towel, wipe away the glue, always go back and press it together this way. Now you get 4 loose blocks. What you're going to do, you're going to do some glue over here on the other side. And you see already I do it wrong because they need to stand up and I already have them this way and that's not what we want. So I'm going to get my towel, I'm going to wipe away the glue. So I'm going to do it again. You're going to do some glue on this side, and a little over here. Then you place it over here. This one you only do the top side and the bottom side. And easy, you just fill it in over here. You do now on this side, you do some glue over here, and on the smallest line, you just place it over here. And this one, you only do the top side and the bottom, and you place it next to here. You fill it in with this one, very gently. Feel with your fingers. If you have to move it a little, always go back. Your fingers is the best way to feel. And again, press it together. And now we're going to press this one. And we go. And when you're happy with how it looks like, give it 1 until 2 minutes and then clean up the glue. Because if you do it right now, it totally goes out of each other. So now we're going to do the back side of the radio. And this is 5 rows of 8. So very easy, 5 rows of 8. You just lay them flat on the table. And you're going to glue the smallest line of the blocks. So this way. And over here. And mine got a little bit of a rectangle shape, but you can also make it round, a little smaller and then round on the top. So you can, yeah, the ideas are endless. You can, if you want to have more ideas, of course, you can go on Pinterest, you can go on Google, you can find, if you just click in old-fashioned radios, then you get more than enough. So you don't have to make mine. You can change it up any way you like. But of course, I hope you give it a try. But that would be the greatest. But of course, you don't have to. So again, oh, this one and this one. And now the last row of 8. And then we already have our back side of the radio. This way. And over here. And now we're going to give it a little bit of pressing over here and just squeeze it together. You do here the same. Try from the inside to the outside and always at the end go to the outside and press it hard together because you want to have a nice finishing touch for your backside also, because it's a decor piece and probably you can also see the backside if you place it somewhere. And again, we're going to squeeze it. And you see it wants to pop out. We just press it down again and we do it again. Now I can show you a little bit better what I mean with do it fast. You clean up the top side, you do it fast on the side and place it straight up. Clean up your mat over here and of course do the back side. You do here also, do the front side and again place it straight up. Clean up your mat, place it down and do the back side. You do here the same. And of course, don't worry, I only do it with these pieces. And again, go to the back side. And you see already, I have one really bad block over here. I'm going to do this one. Do it fast to the side. Place it straight up. And over here. And we do this side also. We're going to do the last one. And again, place it straight up. And you see, you can also easily get it off. And my mat is going anywhere. I need a mat with some, yeah, we call it anti-slip. I don't know how you call it. At least that it stays in place. Always when you clean it up, go back, make sure that you have a nice straight line. because sometimes blocks are really moving around. And again over here, and we're going to give it only a half minute. So I'm going to turn this one to this way, and I'm going to do some glue on this side. Place it down. We do some glue over here. Place it down. We do some glue on this one. Place it down. And the last. And why we do only a half minute? Because we want to fill in the open gaps. So always don't leave it longer than a half minute, because or else you don't fill in the open gap so easy anymore. And that's what we want, because we want to have a nice plank for our back side. And again, feel with your fingers, also go to the sides, that also the sides are straight, and here also feel. And again, we're going to wipe away the glue. And if we did, always go back again, press everything nicely together, leave it a half minute, and then we're going to turn it. So now we're going to place it fast, and of course we're carefully going to place it straight up. We're going to clean up our mat this way, and now we gently and place it on the back side, and do this side also. And now we can let it dry. So now you see already we have 4 rows of 8 on the table, 4 rows of 8. And we are now going to make the sides of our radio. And you can make the radio, of course, as how you call it, the wide. You have, this is the width of the length, but of course you also can, you have the height, but I don't know how you call it, at least how, yeah, we call it breed. I don't know how you call it in English. I have to look it up in a moment, so you hear from me. At least this will be the side, and of course the side you can do as wide as you like. I hope then you understand also what I mean, but I show it to you, of course, in a moment, always better, so don't worry. So the thickness, maybe the thickness, is that what I mean? I have to look for it. At least we call it the breedte. So you learn also a little bit of Dutch, because a lot of people don't know that, at least on this channel, I am from the Netherlands, but of course Diane on the other channel of Decor Easy. So we are both from the Netherlands and just making DIY. So not everyone knows that, because we still get questions if we shop with the Dollar Tree. So I wish we could shop with the Dollar Tree, but we don't. We have a kind of a similar shop that calls the Action. So it's a little bit similar, and the prices are also similar than from the Dollar Tree. So, but we don't have a Dollar Tree. We don't have a Dollar General, if I'm correctly. So I'm going to clean it up, place it straight up. And I'm going to leave the 4 pieces of 8, because I am going out of my DIY and just talking, and you think, don't ramble too much, because I want to know how the DIY is going. So again, place it straight up, and we're going to place it down to the back side, straight up, do the mat, and this time also. And now we're going to let it dry in for a half minute. So of course now we're going to place it on this side. And what we're going to do, we place one on the side, we do some glue on this side, place it down, and we just fill it in with this one. We do the same over here, and again, place it down, and we fill it in with this one. And gently bring them together until one nice piece. And we do here the same, fill in the open gaps, and also go to the side and the top side, feel it. And of course you see it moving, so you see it this way, you can still move it around. So always be careful, make sure that the lines are straight. We have it over here, and now we're going to let it dry in for at least a minute, and then we're going to turn it. So we did wait a minute, and now we're going to gently turn it. I always take it in the middle of when the connection is with the blocks. Just try it and just turn it over. That's the least chance it will break. And again, press it down together. And now we're going to leave the sides over. And what I meant, of course, this is the side, of course, of the radio, but you can do it 3 wide, maybe you can even do it 4 wide, but it will be a very big radio. I want to keep it a little bit smaller, so I only do 2 blocks wide. So in the meantime, while the front side, the back side and the 2 sides are drying of our radio, we are going to make the bottom, and this is 5 rows of 7. So 5 rows of 7. So again, you get your glue and you do the smallest line of the block and you row it together. Of course, what you also can do is you can do the bottom a little bigger, so you get a nice kind of a little border around your radio, but it's not what I'm going to go for. But if you like that, you can also do it a little bit bigger. So this way you can see everyone can make it their own. Over here and this way. I try to do it as fast as I can. The last of row number 4 and now the last of 7, number 5. And I see already my blocks are not the same size, all of them. So we're going to squeeze it, but we're going to work with it because we don't want to throw anything away. And if you have the blocks, a lot of you have the blocks with the brown and the white inside. Like I told you, we don't have them here in the Netherlands. So you have thing, and at least you can now make this radio, because the old radios most of the time are from wood and they are from old wood. Then it would be great if you have the brown blocks and you have them laying around, a lot of them. Then you can completely make it in the brown color. That gives immediately an old look. I still have to create it, but you have it already then in your brown blocks. So sometimes the brown blocks are really great to have, because we only have the cheapest version over here and are always this color. So I'm going to do the back side also, but I won't bore you with that. So now we're going to turn them. We only give them a ½ minute drying and we place them this way. We do some glue on the tops. Over here, place it down, do some glue on the tops. This way, roll it together, do some glue on the tops. And we do, of course, over here. And we do some glue on this one. And we place it down. And over here, and now we roll them very easy. And just gently from the outside, we're going to fill in the open gaps. And this way you can, if you only wait a ½ minute, you can 99% you can get away your open gaps, so that you don't have open gaps in your piece. But I don't mind too much because I like a little bit of the vintage old look in my home, but not everyone's cup of tea. So I'm going to let this dry in a moment and then I'm going to turn it. So I place my bottom here to dry, and now I have my 4 pieces. Of course, what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue them together. What I'm going to do, place this one over here. I'm going to get my glue and I'm going to do one of the sides over here with some glue. Of course, I can place this one down and I do this on the side over here. Place it at the ending. Give it a little bit of pressure. Over here, feel with your fingers. And we do this one on this side. Do some glue. Over here, and we place this one on this side at the ending. So again, give it a little bit of pressure down. Feel with your fingers that you have it in the line you want to have it, because you don't want to have it sticking out. And we do here the same. Make sure that you give it a little bit of pressure. And over here, and then wipe away the glue. And if you have some glue on the inside, just get a small brush like this and just make it wet, and then you go along the line. Over here the same. And we're going to let it settle in a little moment, not too long. So what we're going to do right now, we did wait 2 minutes, and we're going to do some glue on this top, and we're going to do some glue on this top over here. And now we get our last piece, and this is this piece. And of course, look always which side you like the most to have on front. And now we're going to place it over here. Just let it fall down. Feel with your fingers, of course, and then give the shape you like, and then press it a little bit harder. Most of the time it's better that you do it this way. Feel with your fingers, and then settle it in a little bit harder so the wood glue dries also a little faster if you press it down a little bit hard, but not too hard because or else you break it. But I think you already know what I mean. Just at the ending, just a little bit of pressure over here, and I'm going to let this dry in for at least a half hour until an hour. So now I did let it dry for at least a half hour. Of course, I hope you do an hour because I have to go on with my DIY, but of course you take it a little bit longer. So I'm going to place it straight up this way. I'm going to get my bottom, and of course you see it already, I have to turn it to the other way. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to place here my bottom, and I'm going to do some glue on the underside, but of course do it a little bit more to the inside of your box. So again, so the glue is, most of the glue is going to the inside. Make sure that you have all the pieces. Look which side you like the best, which you think is the straightest. So I'm going to go for this one. So I'm going to go to the side. I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to place it on top of here, and I make sure that the front side is straight this way, and I'm going to press it down, and of course make sure that the side is also in a straight line over here, and this way. And I'm going, when I'm happy with the way it's standing on top of here, and of course your bottom is, if everything is correctly, you have a little bit the same size as me, your bottom is a little bit shorter than your box, but that's what I like, because then the box is coming a little bit over the bottom, and that gives just a little bit more texture to your radio, or else it is one flat box, and that's not what we want. So now we're going to press it down, and we're going to let it dry in for a minute, and then we're going to wipe away the glue. So my inside of my box has a little bit of glue, so I'm going to get my small brush again, and I'm just going to go to the inside, and I'm going to wipe it away, because we don't want to have too much glue on the inside. And we're going to do this side over here, and just going to clean it up. So now we're going to make the top of the radio, and of course I want to have it kind of a lid, so I can use it to get it off and on, but it also needs some texture. So I'm going to do the same size that I did for the bottom, and then I'm going to look for if I like it or if I need to size it up. But I'm going to start with 5 rows of 7. So we're going to start with 5 rows of 7, and then I'm going to decide if I like it or not. So we will see. That's why I always say we make the DIY along the way, and we will see what works or doesn't work. So again, you just simply lay them flat on the table, and you just roll them together, but also with the lid of the of your radio, you can easily do it your own taste. Maybe you have a better idea, maybe you can make it from something else. Just go ahead, do whatever you think it's right. And again, I see already I have a block which is totally cut off on the wrong side, but we're going to use it also, but it's not great. So again, over here we're going to press it together this way, and over here we do here the same, just like we did with the bottom. Over here, this one, and number 4 and squeeze it, and the last number 5 of 7. And we're going to let it dry, clean it up, and then a half minute drying. So I gave it a half minute again. I'm going to turn them this way again, and we do the same like we did with the other one. Place it on the side, place it on the side, and just do some glue over here. And the last, and this way we're just going to place it together, and this way. And now we're going to gently fill in the open gaps again. We just take our time for it, because DIYing is also spending a little bit more time, so it gives you a nice high-end look. So again, wipe away the glue and go back and press it together. Give it a minute and then turn around and do the back side, but always be careful because wood glue is drying a little later. So now we have the lid of our box, and now we're going to make the handle. That will be 4 blocks and 2 loose blocks. So we're going to do some glue over here on the top of the block, and we just roll them very simple together this way. And again, make one straight line out of it. And we're going to wipe away the glue and of course put them on the side. And do it this way, and of course turn it to the back side. And you see already he is still, but you can easily glue it together again. Make sure that you feel with your fingers that you have a nice smooth line. And you see he is still, but you just place it together in the line and just let it dry in for at least 10 minutes. And then we're going to do the loose blocks on top. So now we get a loose block. We do a little bit of glue on the underside of the white, so over here, and you just easy place it on this side. You do some glue over here on the underside, and you place it on this side in a straight line. Feel with your fingers, make sure that he is straight, and then you're going to let it dry in for at least also a half hour until an hour, because we are going to spray paint it. So now we have all the pieces we need for our radio. Of course, what we're going to do, I have here my box with all my little half wooden beads. I order them always online on Temu. You can do AliExpress, you could do anything, but you could, or probably also can buy them. So I have now some Easter egg. You see already, this kind of Easter eggs wooden I always buy in the Easter season. I pulled out my twine, and of course now if I turn it over, I have some nice old looking legs. So I'm going to use 4 of them, but you can use a bead, you can use anything. So I have 2 bigger beads like this. I have 3 smaller beads, 4 even smaller, and 4 of 2 middle. So now I'm going to, and this is just for decoration, so you can go as crazy as you like, and you can use some cardboard, you can use some buttons, you can use anything you like, you can even draw it on top of there. Just do whatever you think is right. So I'm going to make my radio in the black color, and I'm going to do the handle this way, and all these pieces in the gold color, because I want to have a little bit gold on my piece. It's not shiny gold, it's a little bit like the matte finish. So I'm going to paint all of them, or spray paint all of them outside. So I'm going to do the radio black and these pieces in the gold color. So you see already I did paint all the pieces in my black and the gold color. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my handle, and on the top of the handle I'm going to do the 2 almost smallest half wooden beads. So I'm going to get a little bit of my wood glue. I do a little drop over here and place it at the ending. I do here the same, a little drop, and I place it at the ending. Make sure that you stay inside but at the ending. So again, stay inside but at the ending. So I'm going to press it down. Of course, I'm going to get my brush and I'm going to go around the edges if the glue is coming out, because we don't like a lot of glue sticking out our beads. So I'm going to give it a little second to dry in. So now he's looking like this. You see over here, he has a little bit gold shine, but not too much. Most of it is matte finish. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over. I'm just going to do a little drop on this side and a little drop on this side of my block. And of course we have 7 blocks rows, so we're going to do it in the middle. Over here, this one is the middle, and here we're going to glue our handle. And again, we make sure that we have it on each side enough of space. So again, over here, look where you want to have, and then press it down. And again, look again if you have it where you want to have it, and then press it down. We're going to let it dry in for a little moment, and then we're going to get our brush again, and we're going to brush away our glue. So now we're going to take our box, and you see already we have the opening, and we have of course a little piece which I cut off. I hope you can see it. I think it's better over here, which I did cut off of my grill mat, and I need to cut off a little bit shorter so he fits inside of my box. So you see now it's fitting nicely inside of here, and you see where it's so great. You can even cut it with your scissors. You don't have to do difficult that it doesn't cut. That's the greatest about this one. What we're going to do, we are going to do the inside. Of course, I'm going to place it down, and I'm going to do with some hot glue. I'm going to do a drop over here, here and here, and then I'm going to glue it on the inside in front of my window, which is open. So you see now the webbing is of course inside over here. I hope you can see it. What we're going to do, we're going to place it on the side. I'm going to get the 2 bigger knobs of half wooden beads, and I'm going to make sure that I stay it inside of the frame. So you have here your webbing of which is of course the speaker for your sound, and I have here now the 3 smaller buttons. So over here I'm going to place them over here. This one will be here, this one will be here, and of course this one needs to go a little to this side and over here. And I think I like it this way, so I'm going to get my hot glue of my wood glue and just do a little drop over here, and I make sure that I keep inside of this frame over here, and I do it over here. Make sure that I keep inside and on the same length that I have the other one. So I'm going to do this one in the middle, place it in the middle, and I do this one on the sideline of this one, but you can place them anywhere you like. So this way, and I'm going to make sure that this is over here. In a moment I show it to you a little bit closer so you see exactly where I did glue them. So this way, you see, but I stayed inside of this one. You see this is the ending. I stayed inside because I didn't want that my knobs for the sound is outside of this length, and of course also over here. So now I get my lid again, and I have 4 little small half wooden beads, and I'm going to do them on the corners. So very easy, just place it on the corner. Oh, you see already he wants to go out. Make sure that he is on the inside, but at the ending. Again, some glue on this one. Make sure that he is on the ending. This way. And number 3, again, over here. And the last. And then I'm going to let it dry in for a second, and then we're going to wipe away the glue. So now we have our box, and of course we have our Easter eggs, of course, and I'm going to turn them over and I'm going to glue them on the underside of my radio box, of organizing box. So you see already I have now the legs under here, and I like the shape of the Easter egg legs. What I'm going to do, of course, now I'm going to do the top of the lid on here. And you see already we are missing an, we call it an antenna. I think you call it the same, almost the same. So I have here an old knitting pen. Of course, this is really an old one from outside. So I'm going to cut off a little piece over here, and he has a nice little knob. You can use a piece of dowel, you can use a piece of thicker wire, so, and maybe do it with some coloring on top. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to cut off a little piece and we're going to glue this straight up over here on this side. And you see, this is how mine turned out. I'm still a little bit debating if I am having it a little bit too long or not, but I'm going to try to do it, and I'm going to do some hot glue over here, and I'm going to place it. I want to have it over here in the middle, and I'm going to let it dry in for a little moment. So I have here now my wooden letters on the table. I did a J and a D, and of course these are a little bit of my initials, so I'm going to glue them on top of here. So I'm going to made them in the gold color. You can do your own initials, you can do radio on top, you can do music on top, you can do some music signals on top, you can do anything on the front of your radio. I'm going to keep it with this one. So I'm going to glue this, and then of course you see in a moment the quick impression. And here you see finally a quick impression of my Tumbling Tower Blocks radio / organizer, and I'm so happy how this one turned out. I did it with some greenery because you know me, I love greenery, but you can organize maybe your remote controls, you can do anything inside. I hope you give this one a try, but especially give your own twist on it. Maybe you can even let it look a little bit more like a radio. I'm still debating if I think it is enough, or maybe I should do a little bit more, but that's later. Of course, I hope you give this one a try. And everyone who is new here, I hope you enjoy what you saw. And if you do, I hope you will click the red subscribe button. Everyone have an amazing day, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.
Something could be